What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be running you down the reasons why I think you should consider getting a NEWEDGE Mustang. So no hesitation, jumping right into it. Number one, as always for these cars, is going to be affordability. So with the amount of NEWEDGEs in the world and just the age of the car at this point, there is a lot of options out there for you. You know, if you're looking for V6 or GT, just either a V6 or a GT, I'd say you can find a car from anywhere from like $3,000 to $12,000. Completely depending on, the car's condition, mileage, all the stuff like that, mods already done to it. I'd say a typical value for V6 GT, maybe in like the $5,000 to $9,000 range if you're looking for anything somewhat decent. But there are really good deals out there. Honestly, I've seen some crazy good deals. Dudes just want to get rid of their car, want it to go to the right person. And obviously the Mach 1 and the Termi kind of hold their value a little bit more than GT and V6 especially. But, for the Termis and the Mach 1s, I think that dudes that are selling their car know how to price them. I think they're normally pretty fairly priced. Especially with the Mach 1s, Termis seem to hold their value a little bit better than the GTs and the V6s, but that's just what I've seen from personal experience. So not only is just the purchase price affordable, but also the parts are really affordable for this car. If you guys have seen any of my top 10 videos, performance or exterior, I run down the mods that I put on the car and include pricing. As you guys know, most of the basic mods for these cars are relatively cheap. So you have those couple mods that are, normally priced the same as everything else, wheels, emblems, things like that. But the bulk of it, even tail lights, headlights, exhaust systems, depending on what you go with, can all be really relatively cheap for what you're getting. Having a cheaper purchase price than most and then having cheaper mods than most, I think it's a great reason to get this car. Number two, the second reason, I'm going to say because I think they are relatively pretty easy to work on. Bear with me here. When I say easy to work on, obviously, working on a car is never easy. It never goes the way that we want it to go. So what I mean by that is, let's take the engine bay, for example. Everything is laid out right there, very easily accessible. And there's honestly a lot of space to work in the engine bay. Not only the engine bay, but let's consider pulling off the lights. The lights are easy to pull off, bumpers are easy to pull off. And obviously you need to know how to do those things, but from doing them on other cars, I would consider, the NEWEDGE Mustang GT jobs to be a little bit easier than most. And I'm not talking about in-depth stuff here. I'm talking about bolt-ons. I'm not really talking about pulling the motor, pulling the transmission, because obviously, that's going to be totally difficult. I'm just talking about, the quick things, exterior, quick performance mods, I think are relatively easy, especially for someone that's just getting into cars. So the third option of why I think you consider NEWEDGE is honestly because of the sound and how fun they are. Well, obviously, stock, they come pretty quiet, but as soon as you get an exhaust on there, it really wakes up the note and it sounds so good. I've always loved the way the 2-valve sounds. Mach 1 sounds awesome with the 4-valve. Termi sounds ludicrous normally with any exhaust. Even the V6s with the right exhaust can sound actually really good. And for the money you're paying, I think it's going to be pretty hard to get a V8 that actually does sound this crisp. And not only, does the exhaust sound great, but it's fun. Obviously, you guys know the 2 valves, the V6s, they don't really make a ton of power, but they are enough power to, have fun with. Easy to do burnouts, easy to do donuts. Obviously, don't do those things. But if you are going to do those things, they're easy to do in these cars. And I mean, even roll races, digs, all those kinds of things truly are pretty fun in these cars. They're super light. They do put the power down really well. And they do have a decent amount of torque, but there is still multiple things that you can do to change the power outputs of these cars. Obviously, a boosted GT from this era does pretty well. The Mach 1s from the factory, are already relatively quick. I see a lot of pro-charged ones that haul ass, honestly. And then obviously the Terminators, they're just beasts. So they already make power. So I'm not saying that they don't make any power at all. I'm just saying, stock to stock to stock to stock between all the trims, what the power outputs normally are. And all I'm saying, even if you get a V6, keep it totally stock. You can still have fun with it. The next reason why I think you should consider NEWEDGE is because of the body style. They're super sexy. Depending on what vibes you want to go for, you can honestly keep them super retro, super old school, kind of keep the chromes in there. Don't slam it to the ground, a Flowmaster exhaust, and you can kind of get that super old school raw American muscle vibes. On the other hand, if you are going for a more modern vibe, which is something that I'm going for, super easy to complete, get nice fitment, LEDs, tint, I mean, whatever you would consider like a more modern car to look like. There's just so many options with these cars. You can really do whatever you want with the build, and I think it has the perfect body lines to kind of make your dream car come true. And the last point I'm going to put for, you know, more beginner drivers, especially beginning stick drivers, not this car specifically, but my old red 2-valve was my first stick car, and it was even boosted at the time with a stage 2 clutch. And I truly didn't struggle that much learning how to drive it. Obviously, you know, it had its ups, its downs in the learning process, but all in all, it really wasn't that bad to drive. The steering's not too tight, not too loose. The shifts aren't too long, but they aren't too short. And you obviously don't want to just learn on a straight up race car. So especially if you're getting one closer to stock, I think they're the perfect feel. Relatively light clutch, gas pedal, relatively responsive. The brakes could use a little bit of work in my opinion, especially stock, but you know, beginning car, especially beginning stick car, when you don't know anything about stick and you're kind of just like flustered, and I know the feeling because I was there. Also, just so you know, if you do live in an area in which, you know, you don't have the best weather, as you probably already all know that are watching this video, I don't recommend getting one of these cars. Honestly, like, they're horrible in the snow. I haven't had a winter set personally on my Mustang before. You know, I've only ran summers, but I can't drive it in any kind of snow, any kind of ice. You know, it's not worth losing control of the car. If you do live in a worse climate, obviously, you know, you live out south, goddamn, go for it. You know what I mean? Absolutely go for it. As fun as cars are, you still do need to stay safe. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Pretty generic video. I'm not trying to hate on Mustangs at all. I'm not trying to hate on anyone's build here, anyone's preference on the NEWEDGE. Just giving my opinion and, you know, the couple main topics that I think are pretty well known for the NEWEDGE. So styling's good, decent amount of power, fun amount of power, great sound, honestly, relatively easy to learn how to drive on, relatively easy car to drive, in my opinion. And the big one is affordability. Honestly, I think one of the biggest reasons why people are getting the NEWEDGE is because they're starting to really pop up on, you know, Facebook and Car Guru and stuff, and you're starting to see more of the NEWEDGE kind of appear, and I think it's great because obviously I absolutely adore this style of Mustang. So not trying to sway anyone's opinion, just trying to go through the basics of why I think if you were considering buying a NEWEDGE Mustang that you should do it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.